Hello and welcome to my channel where we talk about North Germanic paganism, lore and folklore from parts of Europe as these come across from various sources, both old and new. And this is where I talk about my own gnosis as well. Today, I would like to talk about another rune, Kenaz, which is also a little bit more difficult to interpret because its meaning is convoluted and lends itself to more than just one possible interpretation. The Norwegian rune poem describes Kenaz as an ulcer that is fatal to children. One may think of measles or other similarly merciless disease. The poem also relates Kenaz to death unequivocally by stating that death makes a corpse pale. Because the Icelandic rune poem speaks of Kenaz in the same terms, Kenaz then could be taken to mean some sort of disease, infectious disease, fever, or some form of ending, albeit not necessarily a physical death. Fortunately, today we have means to address infectious disease and fever in ways that were not available 1000 years ago when the meanings of the runes were enshrined into verses. In my opinion, most likely in a reading, Kenaz refers to a form of death, metaphorical death, such as separation or indicating the need to leave something behind. But the Anglo-Saxon rune poem describes Kenaz as a torch illuminating the place where princes sit within. This might be a banqueting hall, but it may also be a burial mound or a funeral pyre. Interpreting Kenaz in the context of a reading may be quite challenging. As with any reading, I would recommend to carefully consider the other runes surrounding Kenaz, and depending on the rune casting style, you may also want to consider the distance and positioning of Kenaz relatively to the other runes that were drawn. When Kenaz indicates an ending, remember that endings are not necessarily bad things. Sometimes something must go away to make space for something new. Maybe it is the case that an unproductive, resource draining endeavor must be put to rest, must be let go of, in order to make time and energy available for something else. Also, please keep in mind that runes can be quite literal in their meanings. Kenaz may tell you about the need to declutter, to part ways with some possessions, some situations, some people. It may also warn you to pay attention around fires. Are you planning to go camping anytime soon? It may warn you about the need to take care of your health. Whenever the runes shown in whatever the runes show in a reading is not fated. So whatever the runes tell us, it only indicate a possibility for things to go in a certain way. For example, no matter what message of success a rune reading will give you, unless you actively work to achieve your goal, success won't really happen. In a similar way, any unpleasantness the runes warn us about is something preventable. That's the big thing with readings. We look into them to know what to prepare for. That is advice, wise advice to be taken, not something to be understood as fated, unavoidable. So if Kenaz come up, and you believe it is heralding something not quite favorable, proceed to ask the runes about what kind of action you need to take in order to redirect its energy, the energy of Kenaz, into something productive and desirable. So, this is all for today. I hope I'll see you for the next episode where we will talk about the rune poems as sources for the names and meanings of the runes. Thanks for listening, and if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe.